Yeah, it doesn't seem like there is a lot of confidence in social media as of right now. So, what do you see as the future for Meta as a whole?
I think they're going to have to really reevaluate where they're spending money, right? If they really think that the metaverse is going to be the next step, then maybe it's, again, as I said before, finding some way of finding like a revenue stream that will give them short-term returns while they can spend money on R&D and really like experimenting as to what this metaverse will look like. Advertising still seems to be, I would say, the safest bet. Roblox, actually the other metaverse company that I mentioned, is going into advertising. They largely started as a gaming company, peaked during the pandemic. Everyone was at home. You saw concerts happening within the game. And I think they're past, the peak pandemic when everyone was home. They're trying to look at does a sustainable business model look for us? And advertising seems to be the answer. They're launching some interesting advertising products starting the first half of next year. So I think whether we like it or not, the industry is going to shift back to there. We look at the metaverse. The question is like, what will the metaverse look like? A metaverse that is focused on advertising, I think would be the best answer for Meta. Two birds, one stone. Maybe that's what allows them to keep investing on these VR headsets. But I think we still have to see, what will happen and how the larger economy is also going to go.
What do you mean by it's focused on advertising? Do you mean in the metaverse can you explain that?
Yeah. So with, the question of like, why are people going to the metaverse, I think is one that still a lot of people are trying to answer. And, if you bought land in the metaverse, what is really happening there? I think what could be interesting to look at, right? If you buy land in the metaverse and you use that for some sort of advertising, whether that be, a shopping store or you have billboards where you see your project, that way, I think these metaverse companies can like add an extra revenue stream of, short-term returns. You pay X amount of dollars to advertise and wherever you want. And then for every, click, you get a percentage of it or whatever their chosen is. And so that way, of looking at if people are spending time in this space, then we have to, target our product towards them. I think could be the best solution for Meta at this point. But again, that relies on enough people being on the metaverse and you enter the cycle of like one thing can't happen before the other can. But again, I think, a world where we're logging in or putting on our VR headsets and you're surrounded by billboards or by interactive ads where you can like click and suddenly, get 10% off in whatever store you're at could be very beneficial for them.
And do you think the steps of us getting closer to that world got pushed back even farther with these layoffs?
Yes. I again, I think it's just a matter of like capacity and shifting their focus. I wouldn't say it's because the layoffs, took away people from that. I'm sure there's a percentage of people who are working on reality labs that did get laid off, but I think that's just a shift or a like notice to these companies to say like this is not necessarily the time to be investing billions of dollars in R&D that are going to get you maybe even like not even millions in return now for investors because otherwise, the confidence is going to go down.
Got it. Well, Maria, we will certainly keep our eye on different updates from Meta. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.